There is something magical about creating a 3D art vessel. Unlike two-dimensional textiles, a 3D vessel has depth, volume, and texture, making it a unique and engaging art form. It serves both as a functional object and an expressive piece of art. Where we have learned so much about learning and creating art on a two-dimension flat surface, you are now going to be taking all of that talent and adding to it in order to create not only something that is now on a physical surface, but it offers volume besides texture and interest. And then in addition, you'll be learning how to use my techniques that are especially important if you are, for example, wanting to have flowers that never wilt. I have been doing this for many, many years. You can put it pretty much anywhere, on purses, something that you put in your hair. Great dimension to put on anything that you're going to be framing or even on your quilts. So I want you to be able to finish this class knowing that not only have you expanded into three-dimensional art, but you've learned how to take a very simple pattern and create a stunning three-dimensional vessel, along with learning how to use my technique to create dimensional flowers. And this is just the beginning. So let's get started. Now we're in the studio. This is where we'll spend probably most of our time as we're working on the art vessels. I'm going to talk first of all about some of the supplies that I think are really important for you to have. Number one is choosing your fabric. As you can see, I chose a very solid color. I wanted more accent to be on the flowers. Here, on this particular vessel, I even used felt as the backing. You can take anything and turn it into something like this as a vessel, but I prefer that it be a cotton fabric, something that is flexible. It can have a print on it, like this one has little dogs on it. I would say stay away from anything that is a stripe or a checker, because those are very hard to match up, and your eye will have a hard time trying to figure out what you're trying to say with that. When it comes to picking out a stabilizer, that is the thing that keeps the firmness of the vessel. Is one that you can purchase at pretty much any hobby or quilt show or quilt store or any place where they sell fabrics. Listen to this. Can you hear that? That's me scratching against the adhesive that is bonded on both the front and the back side of this stabilizer. So this is called a double fused stabilizer. It has a stabilizer on both the front and the back. It is flexible, but it is what we consider firm, not solid. There are some solid ones out there that are used for purses. That's fine. It will not work with this. So follow the directions on what I recommend for that. This is another product that I recommend, and I don't have a substitute for it because this works great. This is called Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. Again, you can buy it pretty much anywhere. Any of the big box stores like this, and even in your local stores. And of course, you can always look online. You don't need anything more than half a yard, but I think most of these packages come in about a yard. Along with that, if you can, I would suggest that you buy one of these mini irons. I think they call them a mini craft iron, if I'm not mistaken. These are great to have. And when we get into the situation where I want you to have the vessel fabric to fold over the stabilizer, it's really much more convenient to have something that has a small fat face surface like this one does. You can use your big iron if you want to, or the mini irons that are about this big. You just want to be careful that you don't burn your fingers. And then lastly, get a Teflon pressing sheet like this one. Again, you can buy it pretty much anywhere, including online, craft stores, things like that. Or you can use parchment paper that you can buy at dollar store, the grocery store. Very inexpensive. So those are the ones that I really feel are important not to try to substitute with anything else. But you can always reach me by email and I'll be glad to help you out. So let's get going. Hey, I have a bonus for you. Besides having the videos, you have a download, a PDF file that shows every step that we're going to be taking in order to make this vessel. So go ahead and download that along with the supply list and with the patterns, and then I'll meet you over at the work table. Okay, I'm going to show you now how we're going to cut out all the panels for the vessel. This is the pattern that you download, and you'll have one over here for just using for the vessel. And then you have one that has this dotted line, and that's to show you that when we do the front, fabric, we want a 1/2 inch margin all the way around, and I'll show you why. So I took all of those, I cut one out, and this became my pattern. And then I took the pattern over to the stabilizer. I traced it, and I cut out 4 pieces of the stabilizer. Then my next move is I go to the fabric that I'm using for the front fabric, not the inside, but the outside fabric. And as you can see, I started to outline it. So what I've done is I made up, for my own sake, because I can forget this, I put a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch on both sides of the pattern, and then I took a pen, and you can take whatever you want, and then I just started to make lines that were approximately a 1/2 inch. And the reason I want that 1/2 inch is because this is my cutting line now for the fabric that I'm going to use on the outside of the vessel. This way I have enough so that I can fold it over, and it'll make it for a nice soft edge on the outside of the vessel. So I'm going to do 4 of those. But first, how to use fusible web. With what we need in order to have the front fabric adhere to the stabilizer, we're going to be using the fusible web that I talked about. And I want to just take a minute to talk about it in case you're not familiar with it. This is what fusible web looks like. It's a web of an adhesive or a glue. And when you put it down on a fabric and another fabric on top of it, or a Teflon sheet or parchment paper on top of it, and press it, it melts the glue right onto the fabric. Why do you want that? Well, 2 things. It's a good stabilizer for your fabric, and second of all, it makes it very convenient to know that you're going to have 2 pieces of fabric or fabric and a stabilizer stick together, which is what the goal is. So how do you know what to buy when you go to the store? You're looking for fusible web. So what you want to do is make sure that you get the right fusible web. I want to show you what we're going to do. Here's the fabric that I have chosen for my vessel. This is the outside, and this is the inside. Now, it's got a little bit of give to it. I want to put some fusible web on here. I know you can't really see this, but this is the back side of the fabric. This is the fusible web. I'm going to put this on top of it so that it doesn't stick to my iron. I just want it on a dry cotton setting. And the heat will begin to melt and adhere to the back of the fabric. And you always want to have either a Teflon sheet like this. Parchment paper will work fine too. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess too. Now this has adhered beautifully. And I don't know even again if you can see this because it's white on white, but there's a line right here. There's a line right here. This is shiny, this is dull. That tells me that this side is all ready to go with fusible web. I have taken the stabilizer, and I have taken the front fabric, and I have pressed them together. I put it down on either a Teflon sheet or parchment paper so that the glue would not stick to anything else, face down, cotton setting, dry, just enough to tack this down. Now I'm ready to start folding over the edges. If you will notice, I did cut where the curves are, where there would be some tension, so that these will fold over really nicely. I started one here so that you can see this. This side has been folded over, and this side is almost folded over. And I use a small iron for this. For me, it works so much better if we do. Now, so that I don't keep pressing over here to where the glue is, if you want to take a piece of parchment paper, tiny little piece, and just cover it right where you're going to be ironing, that'll work just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do now the top. And you can see that when I fold this over, I'm going to have extra fabric on the ends. I'll show you how I take care of that. My iron is hot and it's on cotton. I love this little iron. It really gives you so much more control when you've got tiny little pieces or areas like this, which are extremely important, and yet you don't want to have a mess of glue all over the place. So I have this on high, I think it is, which is probably like cotton. And everything is sticking except for the edges, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. Then I'm going to go to the bottom here, and I'm going to roll it over. And then I'm going to cut those tips off. Now, if this is a fairly heavy fabric that I have here, it's not a regular cotton, but as you can see, it's really grabbing onto the fusible that is on the stabilizer just really well. So I'm going to put this aside for right now, and I'm going to fix the areas where I don't have them marked down. And if you want to use your regular big iron, again, line this up with a piece of parchment paper. And as you roll this over the stabilizer, you can butt this, this piece of parchment paper right there, and it'll protect your iron from getting into the glue. And then you can just pull this across. You can pull this off when you're done. See? So I'm going to continue folding this over. Coming up here now, fold that over, trying to stay tight right to the edge, right there. Fold this one over. Cutting these corners and getting the tension out of the corner really, really helps to maintain this nice curve of your vessel. Now, as you can see, and I left this so that I can deal with some of the errors that may come up. I intentionally left this really, really short up here. As you can see, there's just hardly any way that's going to fold over. So you get creative and you say, I think at the end, when I get here, I'll roll over as much as I can, but maybe what I'll do is on the top, put some kind of nice cording, which I've done to save myself from a lot of mistakes that I've made. You can always find a way to correct anything that seems to be a mistake when really it can turn out to be a really good design element. So I'm going to fold this one over again. I love this iron. I can't say that enough. It is just so easy to manipulate when you've got these little corners and you know you've got to have some heat on it, but how are you going to do that and not get glue all over the faceplate of your good iron? And as you can see, I'm not staying on this too awful long. Don't need to. It's a good hot iron. Get that out of there. And then again, if I wanted to, I can just put this right over it, this piece of parchment paper, to help secure it down to the stabilizer. Okay, I think this is... So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish with these other two. I'll move these aside and I'll show you how to do the base. You cut out the base, probably file folder, and then cut it out of the stabilizer. It should match what is happening here. Now there will be some changes here as you start to manipulate your vessel a little bit, but we won't worry about that because it'll fit. It just may not look like it does. So cut it out, get two pieces of fabric that are the same size, and put one on one side and one on the other, and use your cotton setting and put this together so that now you've got your base ready to go. Okay? So I'll finish this up and then we'll go on to the next step.